All of this, falling apart like this, is on you. Wow! We had a good thing, you stupid son of a bitch. We had
another command post for the Republic.
We had everything we needed. It all ran like clockwork. It was perfect. But no, you just had to blow it up. You and your pride and your ego. You just had to be the man. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
What's up, everybody? This is ACT 7567 here, and today, the Battlefront Collection is a catastrophe. How bad is it, Act Man? It's so bad, modders are posting bug fixes to Reddit with the actual lines of missing code. Hire this guy, Aspire! Hire this guy! What I remember about the release of the Battlefront Collection is how broken it was. Also, I'm sorry in advance for this right here.
What do I look like, a fucking botanist?
I'm in the middle of recording a Gears of War review, so please just deal with it for this video and that video. The Battlefront Collection gives the GTA Trilogy Remaster a run for its money in terms of sheer awfulness and disrespect to the source material. Battlefront 1 and 2 were like childhood-defining games for a lot of people. You see all these videos on YouTube from people who played these games back in the day. It's like one of the great equalizers for millennials and people of my generation. There's a lot of reverence, nostalgia, love, and appreciation for them. And like most people, I was excited at the prospect of being able to watch those wrist rockets, take out that super, and have that happen just like the simulations. Steam already has a version of these two games, but they're more or less ports. And I thought, given the phrase Battlefront Collection, this would be sort of a remaster, retouching. I thought it was cool they were going to put some maps from BF1 into BF2 and let you play heroes versus villains on any of the other maps, not just Mos Eisley. The graphics were going to be polished up a bit. I mean, how hard could it be? What? Enter password for what? Why is it asking me for a password? I don't fucking know. Can I play the game? You know, I thought this would be a great opportunity for Aspire, the developers behind this remake, to be able to revive these old games, if for a time, and let people relive the nostalgia with their buddies in a way that was authentic. But it looks like there's been a change of plans. Instead of Battlefront fans being treated to a bit of fan service, this collection is a shameless money-grubbing exploit of said fan base. This is nothing more than a cold-blooded attempt to exploit people's nostalgia, which is the most disrespectful thing you could do with a game like this. Pandemic must have been built on an Indian burial ground when they developed these games, because the Battlefront series is cursed, and it continues to be. The third game was canceled twice. The 2015 version had 10% of the content people expected. Battlefront 2 EA Edition had the infamous loot box fiasco, and when the game was really hitting its stride, they cut support to focus on Shitfield 2042. And now this. Why is it so hard? Honestly, why is Battlefront such an impossible concept to get right? It's a fucking match made in heaven. This is the premier Star Wars first-person shooter series. And we're at a point where they can't even re-release a 20-year-old game without breaking it.
Yo, what's that?
I'm trying! I'm trying!
Get him,
I
dog.
can't!
Yo, bro.
Oh no, I got force lagged! Force seizure!
Now, just to be clear, I'm talking about the Steam version of this game, so maybe your experience on other platforms has been different, but this has been my experience. For starters, the collection is a whopping 62 gigabyte install.
Oh my goodness!
The original two games total just 12 gigabytes on Steam. Obvious question, where the hell did the other 50 gigabytes come from? Why don't you force compress this shit so it doesn't take a meaty chomp out of my hard drive?
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from Aspire. Oh, I know where the extra gigabytes came from. The distorted Lego graphics on Hoth. Just like the shitulations. Secondly, the collection is $35, which is more than all 4 Battlefront games combined. It's a somewhat reasonable price, I suppose, if it was up to snuff, but you didn't do anything to make it worth it. Certainly didn't help that the team at Aspire also used footage from a Battlefront 2 mod in their promotional trailer. They just took some guy's work that they didn't know or talk to or credit and just put that in the trail. What? There's a mod that converts Ventress to PC. She was a DLC character for the Xbox and PS2 versions. And the guy who made it noticed some subtle details in the lightsaber hill and realized his work had been taken without credit. This is what Aspire said. When capturing placeholder footage for our announcement last fall, we mistakenly included content that is not in the product. And that mistake made it into the final cut. Nobody noticed placeholder footage for the trailer you showed during a Nintendo Direct? How? What are you, some kind of goddamn moron? It's a 50-second video. Nobody bothered to put a marker in the editing software and say, hey, swap this out. It's fucking easy.
What do I look like, a guy who's not lazy?
I mean, this isn't a huge deal, but this kind of screw up illustrates how little effort and consideration was put into the project. I might as well mention that the other DLC character, Kit Fisto, who I was excited to try out, is totally broken, or maybe he's just mastered the force rubber band technique. Look at this garbage. He just glitches all over the place. For reference, this is what the move is supposed to look like. I don't even know if Aspire knew what game they were even working on. They launched this with 3 dedicated servers. 3. For a grand total population count of 192. This isn't like Helldivers, where the game exploded in popularity and the developers didn't anticipate over 400,000 people logging in at once. Aspire didn't even anticipate 200.
You want to explain yourself? What are you doing?
Making a mistake.
Making a mistake. What is going on in your mind?
Hero Assault was bugged for the light side, which couldn't respawn, meaning that if you got into a match, it was just broken. Sometimes you get into a lobby that never loads. Great. Fantastic. Occasionally when I hop into the dedicated servers, I'm greeted with the message, contacting host. What do you mean contacting host? It's you! This is the dedicated server! If you were unlucky enough to get into a match, the disappointment only got worse. Matches with 64 players had 100 tickets, meaning each player gets 1 to 2 deaths and the game is over. Matches literally lasted 2 minutes. Those 2 minutes were an unplayable lag fest of shitty hit registration, netcode, rubber banding, teleportation, lag. Just look at it. Hit registration is unacceptable. Half of my shots will hit, but do no damage. The other half will hit, but it takes 2 full seconds to register. A lot of times there'd just be 5 guys in a room at point blank range, just unable to kill each other. As the old saying goes, watch those wrist rockets, because if they hit you directly, it's an instant kill. Not in the Battlefront Collection. You can just shrug them off without taking damage or even being staggered. Yeah, okay, yeah, he just fucking shrugged off a direct rock. You can't even watch those wrist rockets. You can't even watch the wrist. This is nothing like the simulations. The control is mutilated, dismembered. It is destroyed beyond any comprehension. You know aim assist? Well, the Battlefront Collection introduces a brand new feature I like to call aim resist, because your reticle resists enemy players. It just magically avoids the guys you're trying to shoot, like it's magnetically opposed. I have played a lot of Battlefront 2, and I know exactly how it's supposed to feel like, even on the original Xbox, which is still clunky, choppy, and aiming's a little slow. But your aim never did this shit, it never did a fucking figure 8. This and the bad hit registration and lag makes the game not worth playing at all. Tried playing as a Droideka, can't roll into a ball. Don't know why. Guess I'll just die? I've heard that Aspire released the wrong version of the game and then quickly swapped it out, which explains why some of these issues are fixed or slightly better and the game is more stable. But like, how does that happen? A lot of these issues were fixed or improved, but it is still important to take note of them because it shouldn't have been this way at all. It shows you how rushed the game. This is just pure negligence, a complete disregard for any standard of quality. Let's talk about the graphics. Now, you can't see it in the footage on screen, but while playing, I was getting some of the most god-awful screen tearing. Oh, that's all right. I'll just turn on VSync and...
What happened? Where's the fucking game? Well, there's no game here. What happened? Did the programmers pass out?
Game crashes way more often than it should. You try to search for specific game types, it crashes. Now, most of the environments do look a lot better. more detailed and crisp. This is pretty much the only praise you can give the collection. It looks how you think it did back in the day. But even this runs hollow because you can just buy the original Battlefront 2 on Steam and just install a bunch of free mods to make it look better than this shitload of fuck. Oh, but it gets better. It gets better. You see, Aspyr also made the bold creative decision to remove half of the cutscenes from Battlefront 2's campaign. Half of the game's story is just gone. So people playing this saying, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with the single player. You're not even getting the full single player. There's supposed to be a cutscene before and after every mission, but none of the post-mission cutscenes play. You're paying $35 for half of the narrative. This is embarrassing.
What kind of a man are you? You're worthless and weak. You do nothing. You are nothing.
Remember that amazing line after the Felucia mission?
When the 501st was finally rotated out of Felucia, Ayla Secura made a point of seeing us off personally, calling us the bravest soldiers she had ever seen. It's a good thing we were wearing helmets, because none of us could bear to look her in the eye.
Gone. Nope. No context. No transition from mission to mission. This is shovelware. This is a shameless cash grab. And it's like, you only announced this like 3 weeks ago. Why release it like this? What was the rush? You know what it is? It's the end of the first quarter of 2024. That's why release it. At least Aspyr bothered to include an epilepsy warning because every time you die, you are treated to this visual spectacle. For some reason, they also swapped out iconic sound effects, like when you complete an objective. Or when you load into a match in Battlefront 1. The game audio and sound design is disorienting. Got me feeling like Mr. Krabs at the Pretty Patty stand. Sometimes you hear blaster fire behind you, then you look over there and there's nothing there. Other times it gets real quiet or the music just cuts out. Or you might hear these earth-shattering explosive sounds.
Ah! 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 What the fuck just happened?
Sensitivity on controller and playing with mouse and keyboard is painfully slow. Increasing it seems to have little or no effect. So just like VSync, you just have to deal with it. There's also no option for inverted controls. This again was a quality of life feature from the 2005 OG Xbox version. Now how about some improvements they could have made? You know, stuff that would have really gotten people like me excited. We still have never had, to my knowledge, an official online version of Galactic Conquest. Well, thank goodness we avoided taking advantage of that golden opportunity. Who would have wanted to coordinate massive 64-player lobbies and invite people from their Discord server? You know, maybe YouTubers could fight each other and gather teams of their own fans and fucking fight in a 5-hour-long galactic battle. Who would want to do that? Who would want to do that? You know, I would have hosted lobbies like that. I would have streamed it. That would have been awesome. Would have also been nice to have had like Steam Workshop support, or maybe worked with some modders to like add more content to the game, new stuff, new maps, heroes. Split screen only allows 2 people instead of 4. I know split screen ain't as big of a deal these days, but it's like, come on, dude. Like, can you get one thing right? Just one. You're supposed to enhance the game, or at the very least make it feature complete with what it was in 2005. What's the point if you can't even bring features from the original? It's like the game's almost 20 years old, man. It's not a high standard. Why is there no crossplay? That's a good question. What's wrong with you?
What kind of nonsense is this?
You'd think this would be a great opportunity to let everyone replay these classics and tear down the borders between platform so we can all relive the nostalgia with our friends. It's too much work, Act Man. They had 3 weeks to make this. They had less time than Redfall. These games mean a lot to me, and buddies I had back in 2005 wanted to play this again. And we're not. We're not playing this again. It's sad. A 20-year-old game is already going to have a small enough player base, so instead of one connected large group that can keep the game alive longer, it's segmented, which is going to drastically reduce the lifespan of this game, if it even has one. I really am upset about this because I wanted to stream it and host Galactic Conquest lobbies and just like have a good time again. My nostalgia for these games was just blatantly exploited for a quick buck. Fuck Aspire, fuck this company. The game is dead on arrival. Like, you have to intentionally mess something up this bad. So yeah, I really am quite pissed about this. Battlefront deserves so much better. It really does. It could make so much money. But time and time again, this series gets taken out back and shot with a 12 gauge of disappointment. It should be the easiest W and a fat payout for very little work. I honestly didn't expect huge sweeping updates or changes to the game, or updates to the jankiness, or even more polish. It would have been nice to have those things, but I never imagined it would be objectively worse. The Battlefront Collection, at least on PC, should not be purchased under any circumstances. There is literally zero reason to play this. You can get the original for like $5 and just mod that. The community is still alive. If you really want to find other people online to play with, you can. There is no reason to even pirate this. All Aspire managed to do was break 2 complete games and sell them to you for more. Eat shit. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. This one cut deep, and I really hope Battlefront gets some love soon. They could be making so much money off of a Battlefront 3 or fucking anything that's even competent, you know? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Actman signing out. Peace.